Well, good evening and welcome to this regular meeting for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. So everybody can please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Grigsby,
Here.
Mr. Haynes.
Here.
Mr. McCarthy. Here. Mrs. Jackson. Here. Mr. Vaca.
Here. Finalization of the agenda. Is there anything to add or remove?
The agenda is final as presented.
Thank you. We'll move right into the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate your time this evening. We should have two really quick items that generally happen about this time of the year. So these are more annual type items. The first is just a quick update on where we are with open enrollment. As you know, the district makes a decision each year about open enrollment for the following year. So our number of open enrollment continues to decline. So when I look at our numbers for this year, we've got just under 40 students who are currently open enrolled, which works out to 0.8%. So not a significant number. So when I look at our enrollment for the last couple of years, last year we had 8 seniors graduate that were open enrolled. We have replaced it on the lower end of the spectrum when we look at our K1s, our pre-KK, with 2 students. So those numbers continue to decline. We've got about 5 seniors that are scheduled to graduate this year that are currently open enrolled, and about 5 juniors that a year from now will do the same thing. So that number at that point in time, assuming we keep our enrollment about how it has been, brings us down to under 30 students. And really the reason I stopped giving a number there is when we look at our current juniors next year senior class, that is the first year of our high tech group. So those would have been the 4th graders in high tech when that building first opened. And when we opened that building, that's where we took on a number of these students was to fill out those classes because we didn't necessarily have enrollment from within the district. So I would recommend that we continue to do what we have done, which is to remain selectively open. We know that in some grade levels we have space, and we know that in other grade levels we simply don't. Well, the process we've had in place has served us well, I feel like, for the last couple of years. Really, I feel like we're 2 or 3 years off before we can have a conversation about whether or not we look to get open it back up on a larger scale, and that will be when the high school comes online and we have more capacity there. I think at that point in time is a logical time to have a discussion about whether or not we continue with that. But are there any questions from the open enrollment side of things? Great. And then the other just quick one is you have on tonight's agenda a first reading for a revised student handbook. So if you're not familiar, we issue one of those every year. We board approve one every single year. This was the most significant revision I would say it's had in probably 15 years when I think back to what we have been using. So it is entirely aligned or mostly aligned with a template that was provided by Neola. So what you will see different in this one's to previous versions is this version has a lot more of actual board policy in it. So you will find all the legal requirements in the board policies and board policies. And then at the end of the handbook, we will have a section for each of our buildings that spells out kind of building specific things and processes. So we'll ask for a first reading of that tonight, a second reading of that later this month. That way we can have parents, as they're doing their back to school form, sign off if they have read the handbook and they understand the handbook. The one slight change to the way that we're formatting this one is because they are board policies, the handbook will change potentially throughout the school year as those policies change. That is front and center or near front and center in the document itself, so that people understand that what they have in front of them is up to date as of the time that they're signing off on it, but there may be revisions as those policies change.
Ask the question.
Of course.
So how will they be notified of the changes?
So what it actually says is that it's up to date as the time of the approval. If they have questions, to reach out to building administration is what it says, and then they can provide them with those updates.
Okay,
We obviously will have an updated version online as those are approved.
yeah,
Because it's a live doc that actually parents are able to see when they log on.
There's a part of me that would like for parents to be notified when it doesn't have to be the specific, but just a general email that says there's been revisions to the student handbook due to board policy, go to the website.
Yep, I think,
I would have concerns about anything in regards to discipline.
Sure.
Where all of a sudden you thought you had an understanding.
Yeah.
And the policy changes and now the discipline
Sure.
changes. So just to, hey, go to the board policy. And then we protect ourselves because we made you aware that there were policy changes. So. I
we
think
can
that's
add that to our
pretty
monthly newsletters after we do this.
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. And that's likely to happen probably twice a year.
Right.
We get a set of revisions to start the school year and another set usually in January.
Okay, perfect.
Other questions or comments?
Thank you.
That concludes superintendent's report.
All right, here's an opportunity for announcements. Do you have any announcements this evening? Nothing.
I know.
Wow, okay. There's also an opportunity for hearing of the public. If anybody in attendance this evening would like to address the Board of Education, please approach the podium, sign in, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes. No? All right, sounds good. You sure? Maybe?
Meeting on.
I like that. Okay. All right, we'll move right into the consent agenda. Education report, Ms. Saxon.
Yes, we have several items outlined in the education report. First, we have the Parent Square contract beginning with the 2025-2026 school year. The district will transition to Parent Square as our new mass communication platform. Parent Square will be used for district-wide school and classroom communications. We are entering into a 3-year contract to enhance the consistency, security, and efficiency of communications with families. Next is an agreement with Winston Consulting and Counseling. They will provide services focused on mental health promotion, early intervention, and treatment for our students. Following that, we have agreements with KidsLink, PEP, STEPS Educational Group, ABA Outreach Services, Education Alternatives, Transportation, Education Alternative Services, Suburban Transportation, and Theradigm Incorporated. These agreements will provide behavioral and educational support services for students attending North Ridgeville City Schools during the 2025-2026 school year. We also have a 5-year agreement with Explore Learning to continue the use of gizmos in grades 5 through 12. Gizmos are interactive STEM simulations and virtual labs that support conceptual understanding in math and science. Additionally, we are proposing updated school fees for board consideration. The revised fee structure reflects adjustments based on increased costs for technology, instructional materials, communication tools, digital resources, and parking expenses. Finally, we have the 2025-2026 student handbook for your review. Tonight is the first reading of these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will take place at the regular meeting on May 20th.
Yeah, Mr. Vaca, if I may, can I ask, for our cabinet team and Ms. Vance, if you have, specifically, because you have most of the agreements on here, if you have any overview of anything you want us to be aware of?
Sure, I do frequently have a lot of my agreements on for this month and the next month for the school year. So Winston Consulting and Counseling, they are our provider. They are a private provider that we contract with to provide services to our students since we have lost community mental health services due to the shortages locally. And this is our 3rd year going into an agreement with them and have been happy with their services, and they will be servicing students K-12 next year, which is something we haven't been able to do completely due to capacity. The other services that are listed primarily as in special education, we have what are called least restrictive environments. And we have to be able to service students in their least restrictive environment. And if North Ridgeville City Schools is not able to meet the needs of the students, either due to behaviors or their disabilities or the level of adult support that they require, then we do contract with other providers. And we are so lucky here in Northeast Ohio to have so many providers out there so that we can, it's not a one size fits all, and we can use many providers to support our students. Along with those placements, we do need to provide transportation. And as we know, we have a shortage of drivers. And so we frequently need to contract and also provide very specialized transportation for some of our students. Finally, there's a contract for Theradigm. They are a company that we have been contracting with probably with just over 15 years, and they provide our occupational therapy services across the district. And we have had great success with their services and supports and progress of our students. And I think that's all for me.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, we'll move to the communications report, Mr. Grigsby.
Thank you, Mr. Vaca. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following gifts with appreciation. Those that donated to the Adaptable Athletics Day are R.W. Beckett Corp. Gave $1,000. Anderson Process gave $100. O'Neill Healthcare, $150. Rydell, $200. RGI Creative, $150. North Coast Eye Care, $250. And Poppy's Popcorn gave a basket and gift basket, and popcorn for athletes. For the Liberty Fun Run, GEON or Geon Performance Solutions donated $500 and NREA donated $156. For the North Ridgeville Athletic Boosters. Okay, so $1,500. Well, they donated $1,500 towards choreography camp for middle school cheer, $1,100 for the choreography camp for competition cheer, $2,500 for golf bags for the golf team, and $1,800 a drone for filming. And at the NRAC, the 3 to 4 PTO, they donated $307 snacks for state testing. The ECLC PTA gave $89.82 towards nurses supplies, $161.72 for the staff appreciation, $405.76 for the preschool gym equipment. Additional donations from Chris Stewart, $500 towards the choir, band boosters, a snare drum, and a set of Sabian cymbals valued at $1,960. And we thank our community for the tremendous support for our schools and students. Barely got that up.
Thank you. All right, buildings and operation. We have 2 items in buildings and operations tonight. The first is the district's annual renewal of the food service agreement with Aramark. And the second is to provide optional student insurance through Love Insurance Agency. And that option there is no cost to the district. Human resources are speaking foreign language. Human resources report. Mr. Haynes?
Thank you, Mr. Rocca. We have a number of items in the human resources report. 5 summer preschool assessment contracts, 13 summer school teacher contracts, 1 substitute summer school teacher contract, 7 extended school year certified staff contracts, 15 extended school year special education aid contracts, 1 extended school year substitute special education aid contract, 58 NREA supplemental contracts, 20 non-NREA supplemental contracts, 34 support staff substitute contracts, 20 extended day contracts, 19 ESY bus driver and bus aid contracts, 2 hourly tutor contracts, 10 certified staff leave of absences. This is the first reading of these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will be on the May 20th regular meeting. This concludes the human resources report. We'll get to the next section. All right, back again. We have a number of items to consider under the human resources report. 6 certified staff appointments.
You skipped something, Mr. Haynes? Yeah, you're jumping the gun. Go back up a page.
You can take a breath.
Thank you.
You like getting places early, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
I don't get lost that way.
All right, under buildings and grounds,
Thanks for the heads up.
we have a resolution to approve GMP number 3 to the construction manager agreement for the new transportation maintenance facility in high school. This GMP is for early site work and development. I move to approve this building and grounds report in 1 reading.
Second.
Moved by myself, second by Ms. McCarthy. Before we vote, we have Hammond here. Can you give us a brief overview of where we're at with this, sir?
Sure. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
For your consideration this evening, as stated, is GMP number 3. This is our first GMP that involves the new high school. So the past 2 GMPs were exclusively for the new transportation maintenance center. And as stated, this is for the early site work. So the scope of this GMP will be to primarily earthwork lay the groundwork, remove all the topsoil, do some underground utility work in preparation of the new high school construction. The new high school, that construction will start next spring, so about a year from now. But this duration allows us ahead of inclement weather through the winter to get the site all prepared and ready to go so that we can start as soon as the weather breaks in 2026 on the new building. And then the building will come vertically out of the ground. This is the third GMP. The next GMP that will probably come before you all with is a smaller GMP, and it will have to do with some soil stabilization work at the high school site. So we've evaluated, working closely with the geotechnical engineering team, we've evaluated a couple options. The most economical option is a scenario where we will do some augering and put some stone in the ground, basically stabilizes the earth in preparation of the new high school. So that'll come before the board in the fall. And then at the end of the year, closer to the end of the year, will be the largest GMP. Obviously, that'll be for the new high school. And then there could be some ensuing ones thereafter, demolition of the existing building, of course. So, any questions I can?
Not about, specifically about this GMP, but how everything is on track for our transportation maintenance?
It is. It looks like a little bit of a lull of activity out there, and I certainly am aware of that. We've had a couple little hiccups, none of them have been overly impacting, so we will hold our dates certainly on everything that we have committed to. We don't have any concern with the overall dates. And we're waiting on some precast materials that will enable us to put some underground stormwater structures in the ground here. And then obviously we don't want to get on the soil when it's extremely wet, because it's compacted and rolled right now. And so it's not real favorable for us to continue earthwork. So I do expect a flurry of activity there this summer, and you'll see the building come out of the ground. The building in essence is a pre-engineered metal building. So that structure, the majority of that structure is on site already. And you'll see that come out of the ground in the summer.
So in regards to stormwater, our management over there, is that going directly into the creek, or are we required to put in an underground retention that'll slowly release it?
Absolutely, it'll be slowly released, exactly as you're suggesting. So there will be a new detention area that will be constructed on that transportation and maintenance site on the very northern corner of the site. That'll hold all the stormwater on that site, and then it will get released to the existing creek. And that's the same principles that will hold true for the high school site. We'll be putting in some detention areas on the high school site to do the same thing as well.
Now, are all these exposed detention or any of them underground detention?
They are all exposed.
Okay.
They will not stay wet. They will not stay as ponds, if you will. They will hold water after storm events, and then that water will be released slowly to the city stormwater systems. But generally speaking, other than what we've seen in the last few days, generally speaking, they'll be dry basins, mowable with grass.
So that's just to reassure the community. I work for the city, so stormwater management is very important to North Ridgeville with the issues we have with flooding. So just to make the community aware, we have every intention of managing our stormwater on our property so it doesn't overwhelm our current systems.
Absolutely the case. And there's a lot of eyes on that. First of all, there's law in place that mandate that. And then the city engineers have been reviewing all of the submissions to date, reviewing all the calculations to make sure we're doing exactly that, holding all the water on our site.
And going back to this GMP, can you, I think you already said it, but can you say again, when does this site work start for this specific GMP?
Sure, that's a good question. I did not say it.
Okay,
Last day of school is the 29th, and we intend to start the 30th.
okay.
So clearly we will be disrupting a large part of the site. We're going to be taking over a majority of the student parking area. That's where the new high school goes. We're going to actually be constructing 2 permanent parking lots on the western side of the site as well. So we know it's very disruptive to the campus. We're going to wait till school's out, and we'll be on it the day after school. I know there'll be staff on site, but we hope to get the majority of that done this summer. Some of the new parking lot work will continue into September, but In the fall, we'll have 2 additional new parking lots turned back over to the school district. That's the plan.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy.
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby.
Yes.
Mr. Haynes.
Yes.
Mrs. Sapp.
Yes.
Mr. Haynes, Human Resources Report.
Thank you, Mr. Hawken. Let's see. We have a number of items to consider under the Human Resources Report. 6 certified staff appointments, 1 non-represented support staff adjustment, 2 administrative staff resignations, 2 certified staff resignations, 5 support staff resignations. I move to approve the Human Resources items in 1 reading.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Haynes, second by Mr. Grigsby. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haynes.
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby.
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy.
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon.
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. It is recommended that the Board of Education enter into. My bad.
Mr. Bucky, you can't take away my favorite part. I hate it. It's that time of year that we always have a number of new appointments and new staff that we would like to welcome to the North Ridgeville City Schools. We do maybe have a couple of joining us online, and I know I have one who is coaching lacrosse and is going to be announced at the May 20th meeting. I also have one that is currently working downstairs getting kids ready for Washington DC. So if she jumps up, I may introduce her as well. But there are 2 individuals that couldn't be here with us tonight. Hannah Fuller is joining us as an English language learner teacher to the district. She is going to be graduating. She is a senior at Miami University in Oxford, and they're graduating in a couple of weeks. So obviously she couldn't make the trip this evening. But she fell in love. She was going to be a Spanish major and speaks Spanish fully, and but fell in love teaching English as a second language when she studied abroad in Spain. She lists her mother as her inspiration because she finds the good in everyone, and we're really excited to have her to support our students next year with us. And she'll be a great addition to our staff. Megan Lavelle is joining us as a speech language pathologist to the district. She got her undergrad at The Ohio State University, and she got her master's at Walden Wallace University. She also listed her mom, who is a science teacher and has been teaching over 25 years, as her inspiration to go into the field of education. She currently is working in the private sector with Sprout Therapy, but she's providing services to students at St. Jude's. So we're really fortunate to have her with us as well. And then I have 2 new members with us. So Courtney, if you'd come up first. Courtney Bartlett is joining us as an intervention specialist at the Academic Center. She currently has experience as an IS in the Garfield Heights City School District, so she's coming to us with some experience. She lists the U.S. women's soccer team as her favorite team, and she lists her parents as her inspiration. She is a BG, Bowling Green State University graduate, and we are excited to have her here at NRAC.
Welcome.
And then Grace Farrell is also with us. Grace just graduated this past weekend from Ohio University, so we just got her back to the area. So that's been an exciting couple of days for her. She is joining us as an intervention specialist at the high school. So she'll be working with our students at the high school. She has been working during her breaks at the Nest schools and with littles, I think, with little kids. So she has a broad spectrum of experience. She did state that in the past she has worked for the Cleveland Guardians, so in the summertime, but she still lists her OU Bobcats as her favorite team. So we are thrilled to have Grace with us. And Courtney, if you guys would come up, I'm going to have you guys sign and get some pictures. All right. So. It's gonna be like signing day.
Did you have much rain down there?
Very wet. All right. 1, 2, and.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is recommended the Board of Education enter into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of public employees and matters relating to negotiations of public employees. There will be no action to follow.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Saxon, second by Mr. Haynes. Roll call, please.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Haynes,
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. 6:26.